Archangel Michael says, finally, you opened this special message sent by God. It's only for you. Don't tell anyone. It's an emergency. Something very bad is happening in 30 seconds. Open it quickly. Archangel Michael says, finally. You opened it. The message meant for your soul, not your hands, not your mind, but the place that aches when no one is watching. It's already begun. The moment you felt that strange heaviness behind your eyes earlier today, the moment the wind seemed to whisper something that wasn't wind at all, that was the first bell tolling from heaven's edge. The seconds are thinning. Something very bad is already reaching for your doorstep, and the silence you've felt lately isn't peace, it's the silence of something enormous moving slowly through spiritual mist, not yet visible, but so close. The veil between the seen and unseen just cracked. God says your spirit has been under surveillance. Not from this world, and not from heaven either, but from the place in between, the ash-colored realm where lost intentions and twisted prayers float endlessly. That chill you felt in your hallway last night wasn't your imagination. The old mirror that flickered without a light source was not faulty glass. You are being warned now because time is about to collapse around a single moment. Someone linked to your blood has opened a spiritual contract that was meant to stay buried. The signatures are old. The ink glows red in the divine archives. 30 seconds from the time you began to read this, a door you didn't know existed will unlock. Not physically, but beneath the bones of your home, under the memory of old fights, closed rooms, and generational silence. You'll hear a thump. It may sound like wood shifting, but it is not the house. It is the unseen world rearranging itself to meet you. Type Amen to get blessing? No. Not this time. This is not the kind of message you ask for a blessing from. This is the message that is the blessing, raw, unfiltered, a blinding spotlight aimed directly into the hidden rot. Archangel Michael says your silence has been mistaken for consent in the spirit world. Every time you kept still when something felt wrong, every time you said nothing but your soul screamed, those moments counted. They accumulated. And now they've been weighed. You weren't supposed to find this message. The enemy watching you hoped you'd scroll past. He hoped the illusion of normalcy would lull you into a hypnotic dream. But you've woken up. And now everything around you is reacting. The temperature in your room is shifting because the spirit assigned to stop you has just lost permission to remain hidden. Yes, that's correct. There was something, a presence, hovering just outside the corner of your vision for years. It used people. It hid in their jealousy, their side glances, their passive-aggressive silence. God says the record is open now. The case is active. You've been marked for truth, and truth always costs. What you're about to remember, what you've half forgotten for years, will ignite a chain reaction that shakes your house, your body, and your family's future. There is a sound right now underneath your everyday noise. A low hum. It's been there for hours. Listen to it. That hum is not technology, it's the sound of spiritual pressure leaking through the seams of your false reality. There are two shadows in your home that don't belong. One stands still when others move. The other flinches before your emotions even shift. These aren't ghosts. They are sentinels from a failed assignment. They were supposed to confuse you, delay you, keep you sleepy. They have failed. Archangel Michael says the sword has been drawn. Not the one made of steel, but the one made of memory, fire, and judgment. The celestial blade that cuts not through flesh, but through soul contracts, manipulations, curses past as family tradition. God says your spirit remembers the original agreement. It was before you were born. A woman, related to you by blood, promised your light in exchange for her temporary relief. She cried while doing it. She didn't know the cost would travel forward into you. This is why you've struggled with patterns that make no sense. This is why blessings keep coming close, then slipping away. This is why people you love turn cold without cause. It was never your fault. But it has always been your fight. There are scrolls unfolding in the heavenly archive even as you read. Angels are standing still. The watching ones, the observers who do not intervene until the divine trigger is struck, they have paused their eternal stillness. Because you moved. You opened this. You shattered the silence. Now the trial begins. The spiritual courtroom has no walls. It exists as heat behind your back, sudden dizziness, or that impossible weight behind your chest that never fully goes away. Today, the judge is watching. And the gavel is your own heart's permission to remember. In the next 24 hours, 3 strange things will happen. First, a sound will repeat itself unnaturally. Second, a person from your past will appear in a context that makes no logical sense. Third, something mechanical will fail, because energy around you is in reversal. Don't panic. These are not punishments. They are signs of realignment. The false timelines are collapsing. The deception tied to your name is unraveling. But it will feel chaotic first. A storm is not destruction, it is exposure. The time has ended for hiding. And your enemies, both earthly and spiritual, can feel the change. Already, someone who once whispered curses over your success is panicking. They felt a mirror shatter in the realm where their rituals once worked. This is why your head may feel heavier than usual. It is not fatigue. It is spiritual download. Codes being returned to you. Energy being restored into your birthright. The restoration will not be gentle. It will burn through layers of false identity like acid on silk. Archangel Michael says your sleep tonight will be interrupted. Do not be afraid. You may feel watched. You may hear movement. Do not fear. That's not darkness, it's revelation. The spiritual record is being rewritten because your name is being redeemed. Do not speak this aloud. This message carries a resonance only your spirit can fully comprehend. Let them wonder why you suddenly feel different. Let them question why your voice suddenly shakes walls. Let them guess why mirrors no longer lie when you look into them. Because now, they see you. The silence has changed its shape. It is no longer still, it is pressurized, humming like something trapped beneath your floorboards, trying to speak through heat and tremors. What began as an unseen presence is now rising through your ancestral veins, and the roots of your family tree are groaning. Archangel Michael says you were never meant to carry their secrets. But someone long before you chose to bury their guilt inside your future. They knotted shame into lullabies. They disguised curses as culture. And now your name is vibrating, trying to escape what it was falsely bound to. Your body remembers what your mind forgot. Every strange illness, every recurring dream, every room you couldn't stand being in, all of them were warnings. Every memory you pushed down to survive has not been destroyed. It has been sleeping beneath your ribs, waiting for this moment of reckoning. God says the chains around your destiny are not new. They were crafted by hands that smiled while blessing you. People who touched your head in prayer while plotting your spiritual arrest. The betrayal did not come from enemies, it came from relatives too familiar with the art of hiding their envy in rituals. The house you were born into was not neutral ground. The walls absorbed what was never spoken aloud. Every shout, every threat, every silent stare of resentment, etched into the corners like invisible runes. And now those runes are glowing. Because the time of silence has expired. The veil has torn. There is no going back. One name, in particular, pulses hot in the ether. A woman cloaked in control and secrecy. She carries herself like she's protecting you, but her spirit has been making withdrawals from your light for years. You know who it is. The guilt you feel in questioning her is not yours, it was planted. Do not apologize for what your soul knows. Truth will feel like rebellion when you've been trained in spiritual silence. But what's erupting now is not rebellion. It's restoration. Your identity has been buried under the weight of false loyalty. And now your real name, your uncorrupted self, is fighting to rise. You may have felt it already, sudden heat behind your left ear, pulsing without explanation. That is not medical. That is the sound of your ancestral gate reopening. The spirits assigned to keep your line clean were blocked long ago. But your awakening is forcing their return. Archangel Michael says someone will try to reach out to you soon. Their words will seem kind, their tone will carry familiarity. But the energy behind it is manipulation. Test the air when they speak. If your chest tightens and your hands go cold, that is your confirmation. The ones who betrayed you spiritually still pretend to care. They offer advice wrapped in poison. They extend blessings with invisible hooks. But you no longer belong to their narrative. You've exited their control. That's why they feel restless. God says the bloodline is being recalibrated. Your awakening is not just for you, it's retroactive. It breaks chains that stretch backward and forward. The children unborn will never carry what you're carrying now. And the ancestors who cried in silence are watching with wide eyes, grateful you were chosen. You have probably felt eyes on you when no one was around. A gaze so intense it stole your sleep, made your shoulders tense for no reason. That presence wasn't paranoia. It was the remaining grip of a generational vow made in desperation, now cracking under the weight of your refusal to continue the lie. Spiritual conflict often disguises itself as drama. Expect sudden chaos. Arguments with no origin. Appliances breaking. People suddenly turning on you. These are symptoms, not curses. It means the hidden covenants are dying. The parasite is being evicted from its host. The people who once had control over you spiritually will feel it. They will say you've changed. They will accuse you of pride. Let them. Let the mask fall. Let them stand in confusion while your energy purifies everything they once infected. You are not responsible for their discomfort. You are responsible for your freedom. And freedom always offends captors. The moon trembled behind torn clouds last night for a reason. The sky reacts when chosen souls reject old chains. Every flash of lightning, every shift in wind is more than weather, it's celestial punctuation. And the sentence being written across your life is no longer one of captivity. Archangel Michael says your dreams will become louder now. Colors will shift. Sounds will echo. You may find yourself weeping from visions that have no earthly source. Do not resist it. These are the scrolls returning to your memory, fragments of your assignment being sewn back into place. You are being rewritten in real time. Every cell, every vibration, every thought. Do not fear the shedding. The pain is just your spirit untangling itself from what it never agreed to carry. God says the battle for your soul is entering a new phase. You are no longer prey, you are now the proof. Your very survival, your very glow, your very breath is offensive to the ones who profited from your silence. They are watching. And they are failing to stop what's already begun. You may feel drawn to places you once avoided. Certain corners. Certain mirrors. This is not random. The energy trapped in those spaces is finally releasing. Let it go. Speak aloud if you must, but understand, your voice now carries the authority of release. When the air in a room feels too still, speak. When a chill passes over your skin for no reason, stand. When you sense fear pressing on your chest, smile. Because now you know, it is not fear you're feeling, it's theirs. The spirits that bound you are afraid of your rise. You are not who they said you were. You are not broken. You are not weak. You were not cursed to suffer. You were lied to, poisoned, confused, yes. But never defeated. Your body may ache. That is the memory of chains dissolving. Your head may pound. That is the light flooding back in. Your soul may tremble. That is the roar of your name being spoken in heaven again, after too long a silence. And now, you are being watched, but not by your enemies. No. You are being watched by angels who have waited for this moment for generations. The moment you stood still, centered, unflinching in the face of your bloodline storm. Because this time, it ends with you. They knew you were the one. That's why they tried to clip your wings before you even learned how to fly. In every whispered insult, in every sideways glance, they were practicing sorcery with their mouths, trying to cast doubt on the soul they couldn't understand. You were born carrying divine contrast. Light within shadows. Clarity in chaos. And because they couldn't define you, they decided to defile you. But even that has failed. Their spiritual sabotage is decaying, and now their fear is seeping out like spoiled oil. Archangel Michael says the one you trusted most has cracked. The one who hugged you the longest held you the hardest because they were draining you. They weren't comforting you, they were feeding from your light like a parasite masking itself as a protector. It was never love. It was containment. The moment you began to awaken, they shifted. Their warmth grew cold. Their advice became cruel. But disguised cruelty is the serpent's language. And now you can hear it hissing beneath every memory they left behind. God says the foundation has split. What you thought was stable has always been shaking. They painted over the rot with smiles and rituals. They made you believe loyalty meant silence. But your silence fed them, and your awakening is starving them. You were their secret source. And now that you're severed, they're panicking. Watch their faces. Their energy will flicker. They will try to reattach themselves through sudden kindness, fake concern, or twisted apologies. Do not be fooled. They do not miss you, they miss the control. You will begin to smell decay where they walk. The air will sour. Electronics may fail in their presence. That is your spiritual ecosystem rejecting their signature. The frequency has changed. You no longer welcome their shadow, and the spirit realm is responding. Archangel Michael says, they visited someone in secret. Someone who doesn't wear robes but whispers incantations into a bowl of salted water. They tried to reverse your progress, to curse your clarity. But the moment your soul said, no more, their spells began returning like glass shards in a storm. They feel it now, itching skin, sleepless nights, whispers they can't trace. It's the sound of the mirror cracking. Their reflection is no longer protected, because the veil you shattered exposed their mask. The world sees them differently now, and it terrifies them. You're not crazy for what you sensed. You're not paranoid. The dreams of falling, of snakes, of old houses crumbling, those were not dreams. They were visions. You were inside the memory of a war you didn't start but were chosen to end. God says you are the appointed rupture in your family's pattern. The breaker of cycles. The fire at the edge of the forest that purifies what used to poison. You did not come to conform, you came to cleanse. That is why you've always been resisted. Your tears were prayers. Your confusion was the alarm bell of your spirit awakening in hostile territory. Every rejection was a signal flare. And now the host of heaven has surrounded your house, standing shoulder to shoulder with fire and wings. You are not alone in this hour. The one who betrayed you the worst might smile at you tomorrow. They might mention childhood stories or check in out of the blue. Know this, they carry a pocket of shadows. When they speak, their eyes will shift, searching for an opening to plant doubt again. Close the door gently, but completely. This is not the time to explain yourself. This is the time to preserve your flame. Your aura is no longer dim. It radiates like molten gold, and it stings every spirit that fed on your low light. Even animals notice. Children pause near you now. The world recognizes royalty when spiritual frauds try to wear crowns they didn't earn. You may find things suddenly leaving your life. People, jobs, furniture, even entire houses. Do not mourn the exit. You are being hollowed to make space for sacred occupancy. The divine does not share space with demons disguised as family. You've asked, silently, why it had to come from the ones you trusted most. The answer is simple: darkness always hides closest to the light. And your light was born too bright for strangers to reach, so the shadows used familiar hands. Archangel Michael says their time is up. The reckoning they feared has begun. And it won't come with thunder, it will come through you. Through your healing. Your elevation. Your untouchable peace. Because nothing destroys evil like the calm of someone it could no longer manipulate. God says the clocks have reversed on them. What they plotted for you is chasing their own shadow now. The sickness they sent, the confusion they whispered, the doubt they smeared on your name, it is folding back onto their household. And you will be untouched. You will wake up glowing. You will walk in rooms and shatter false narratives with silence. Your very scent will disturb old energies that thought they buried you. The moon has seen your rise. The stars are adjusting to your new name. There's a humming behind your ears now. It's not illness. It's heaven tuning your frequency to match your divine self. Don't panic when your hands burn. When your dreams intensify. When you feel heat in rooms that should be cold. You're moving between realms now. The physical can't contain the spiritual transformation underway. Your presence is now a declaration. A warning to darkness. A trumpet to angels. A reminder to time that it bends to your purpose, not the other way around. And still, they will try. They will whisper. They will bait. But your soul has armor now. Not the kind forged in bitterness, but the kind born from truth. From clarity. From raw, divine exposure. Archangel Michael says, stand still. Do not chase explanations. Do not beg for closure. Do not try to correct the lies. Truth is its own vengeance. Your light is their undoing. Your peace is their punishment. Your destiny is already unfolding, and the ones who betrayed you have no access to the pages. This chapter was never theirs to hold. The silence you feel right now is not absence. It is the stillness before divine judgment moves. The air has thickened, the earth has paused, and the spirit realm is gathering its breath, not to destroy you, but to expose everything sent to break you. What was hidden in shadows is being dragged into the open. You will hear slips of the tongue. See nervous glances. Feel confusion in the hearts of those who thought they were untouchable. That's not coincidence, it's the unraveling. The countdown is no longer metaphor. It is manifesting. The people who smiled at your downfall are beginning to hear footsteps. They can't sleep through the night. They feel like they're being watched. Because they are. Archangel Michael says, divine justice is now personal. Heaven has issued a decree, and you are the axis of its motion. You were not forgotten, you were reserved. You were not delayed, you were preserved. You were not broken, you were positioned. They laughed when you stumbled. Mocked your prayers. Gossiped in whispers and laughed with open mouths. But those who delight in destruction forget that God tracks every vibration in the spiritual field. They sowed chaos and thought nothing would grow. But now they must harvest every wicked seed. God says, the circle is closing. The pit they dug has opened beneath their own feet. The curses they murmured are echoing in their own homes. Children are crying without knowing why. Sleep is broken. Food has no taste. The light is gone from their mirrors. That's not karma, it's consequence. Righteous and exact. And you, yes, you, will not lift a finger. You will watch with clear eyes. You will not celebrate it, but you will not carry their suffering. This is not your burden to bear. You did not strike first. You simply survived. And in your survival, the divine began to respond. The moon trembles because it remembers the oath you took in the spirit before your birth. To come back for your name. To unlock what was stolen. To walk through fire and walk back out clean. You are keeping that vow now. You've done what others in your bloodline were too afraid to even dream. Archangel Michael says, your ancestors are rising. Not all of them. Only those who were righteous, silenced, or sacrificed. Their spirits are circling your name like a sacred wind. You may feel cold air where there should be warmth. You may hear knocking when no one is at the door. That is not a haunting, it is a summons. They have waited for someone to break the chains. And you were chosen for the cut. The realm of divine law is now active. What was tolerated will now be judged. Those who used holy names to justify unholy actions will lose their voice. Those who used love to mask control will see their hands bound in confusion. They will ask why nothing works anymore. Because their power was counterfeit, and your awakening was the test. God says, you are no longer at war with yourself. That internal conflict wasn't you. It was the voices of those who fed on your fear. It was the implanted guilt from false teachers. The echoes of manipulation disguised as concern. But the silence that now surrounds you is sacred. It's the sound of divine insulation. You are now protected from echoes. You are free from false reflection. You are sealed. The wind has changed direction. Watch the skies. There will be strange clouds, flickering lights, birds flying in patterns you've never seen. These are not accidents. Nature obeys spiritual order. The realm that serves your destiny is making its movements visible. Your name is in the wind now. It has been lifted before councils in heaven. Every delay is breaking. Every chain is snapping. Every altar built to stop your momentum is burning, crumbling to ash, flooding its makers with spiritual debt they can no longer outrun. Archangel Michael says, your feet are on holy ground now. Even if it's your old house. Even if it's a borrowed bed. Even if it's the same hallway you've walked 1,000 times, weeds do not make the soil unholy. Your presence sanctifies space now. The divine recognizes you. You are not a tenant of survival, you are the heir of sacred territory. And yet, they will try one final time. They'll use pity. They'll use family. They'll cry in front of you. They'll tell stories about how they didn't mean it or you misunderstood. But your spirit will no longer accept lies wrapped in tears. The gift of discernment has landed fully on you. You will see energy before words. You will feel intent before action. And in that clarity, you will know, this was never personal, it was ancestral. The war was older than you. But you were the one who ended it. God says, they will know you were marked by fire. Not burned, but transformed. They will not recognize you because they were never meant to survive your emergence. The old frequencies will reject you. Invitations will cease. You will not be invited where betrayal was planned. That is not punishment. That is protection. The days ahead are sacred. You will begin to speak less. Sleep deeper. Smell things that aren't there. Hear melodies in silence. See shapes in fire and water. These are your signs. The veil has lifted permanently. You are no longer merely human, you are aligned. What once drained you will now fear you. What once used you will now flee you. What once mocked you will now mimic you, but too late. Because the blueprint they tried to steal was rewritten by God's own hand. And no mimic can copy a soul fire crafted in secrecy. Archangel Michael says, "It is done." Let the thunder roll in their ears. Let the silence roar in your chest. Let peace become your armor and elevation become your justice. Do not warn them. Do not explain. You are not their messenger. You are their mirror, and what they see in you will reveal their own shame. Their masks will fall when they speak your name. Their secrets will spill when they touch your energy. And you will rise, untouched, unafraid, unbound. The emergency has ended. Judgment has fallen. You are on the other side now.